In order to have more, you gotta do less. Because I've recently come to the conclusion that doing and having are polar opposites in most cases. Don't believe me? Think about it like this. Day and night are only distinguished by the attribute of light. But other than that, they're just these moments in time. You got AM and you have PM, right? And that's what distinguishes the back half of the day. But we only acknowledge day and night. We don't acknowledge that, okay, it's nighttime at 12 p.m. because it's not dark. But then we say it's 3 in the morning, but it's still nighttime to us, right? You can do something at 3 in the morning, wake up at 10 and say, yeah, last night we did this, but it was at 3 in the morning, so it really wasn't last night, it was in the morning. And that's just how we see it. And it's the same with doing and having, right? What distinguishes them is the attribute of more or less. And as crazy as it sounds, you have to do less to have more. I think that the disconnect is that most people don't have anything in the first place, and they've just been taught, well, I need to do this, that, and the third, and then I'll have all of this. And it's like, that's not how it works, unfortunately. But it's hard because everything you've been taught has been to correlate that if I do A, I'll get B. You know what I'm saying? If I do more of A, I should get more B. But that's not how it works. You know what I'm saying? You need to figure out leverage. And that's what I realized about doing and having. Most people who are mega rich don't do a lot, they own a lot. And owning a lot doesn't equal doing a lot at all. It doesn't. In fact, owning more means you have no choice but to do less. Think about it this way. If you have 7 cars, are you gonna wash all 7 every week? No. You're going to pay somebody to do it so you can do more of what got you those 7 cars. So like, in order for you to have more, fundamentally, you have to do less. Because if you do more, you can't, it shrinks. You know what I'm saying? Even lifespan. Like you always hear people, you doing too much, right? Or you living fast, right? You doing this, that, and the third, and you out here moving. And then guess what? Your lifespan is generally cut short. I mean, it's crazy when you think about it. It really is. And then that leads me into, okay, well, if doing less gets me more, then I have to be effective with what I'm doing. Because if you're not effective, you get nothing. And that leads me to Parkinson's law. Parkinson's law says that if you give yourself 2 hours to do something, you'll get it done in 2 hours. If you give yourself 30 minutes, then you'll get it done in 30 minutes, right? So those are the things that I think that people who do less actually do. It's not that they're doing just so much less, because you have to do something. You don't get something for nothing. You have to do. But I think that they're so effective with their time and what they actually do that they're getting more out of it. They're getting more leverage. They're putting in this much and getting a whole lot out because this much is the most effective. Let's throw in Pareto's principle, the 80-20 rule. 80% of your income comes from 20% of your customers or client base. So basically 80% of your success comes from 20% of your whatever you do or whoever you associate with. So then you say, okay, well, let me break that down. I got to look at what I'm doing, right? I have to actually say, okay, well, these are the most effective things. Let me do this mostly, or let me focus on this solely, because this is what's giving me the most return. So if I do more of this, right, which generally means you do less of everything else and you condense this and you get better at this. And if you're really good at this, this doesn't take as long because people associate doing with time. I don't think doing has a real association with time the way we look at it. I think you can do stuff very quickly nowadays with automations and just buttons. And then you can take forever to do something depending on what it is, right? Like cooking. And there's certain things that your time frame is longer. But focusing on the 20% of, the short or the long stuff, whatever, is what's getting your results. Like iterating that, right? And then creating somebody else or a position for somebody else or another computer system that can do it alongside you. Now you're getting double the input and it's not just you. So again, doing less. The last thing I would like to say on this topic is that then it's about creating a list of those things. So you got this 5-thing checklist, right? And only 4 of them get filled. The 5th spot is for like fires that you got to put out. But you say, okay, well, if 2 out of 10 things are giving me my results, then what are those things, right? And I would say break them down to business and personal. So you got 5 business, 5 personal, and that's 10 total. Pick the most important thing you can do business-wise, the most effective, the one that gives you the most result, and the most important thing you can do personally. And you say, okay, well, the 4 things on my to-do list have to do with those. So I got 2 things. I got a pertinent business thing and a pertinent personal thing. And then I have growth business thing, something that helps my business grow and something that helps me grow personally. And now you have 4 out of the 5. And the 5th one is if somebody calls you and says, look, my house is on fire, bring a bucket of water. As if that's gonna help. But you're gonna do it, right? Because that's what you're gonna do. So you leave that 5th slot open for mishaps and just whatever. But I think that is the way you should look at doing and having. Like, you have to do less to get more. And I don't know how effective this talk is going to be for you, this journal entry, but that's the gist of it. So go out and figure out, how to find your 20% of the most effective things you can do, and then trim down how many things you can do and trim down how much time you have to do them. Because I think that most of the doing that happens is just ineffective. And if you do less, but they're effective things, you'll have more. That's just how it works. Can't wash 7 cars every week, nor would you want to. So, yeah.